following the series that I started last night, incoming Game 2, taken from the Starcraft League playoffs, which is a team event, so you have teams being represented by their own players, duking it out against each other, and this is the case once more with the Red Terran DDE representing his team Sixjax Energy Gaming, and he's gonna be facing against this blue Zerg, EGIdrA, Greg Fields, Grecosaurus Rex, Michael Gregson, and Greg Norris, amongst a million other names that the community came up with to call him. And well, he's one of the powerhouses playing Zerg this game currently. He's a very strong macro Zerg player and quite a skilled one as well. He has a lot of fans, also a lot of haters. But I guess we're just here to enjoy the match, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do and expect you guys to do as well. So, being in Xel'Naga Caverns, they're just starting their openings. As you guys seen on the previous match, and well, if you guys didn't, you should, because I'm gonna throw a couple of spoilers now, so go take a look at it. It's available on my channel. But like I was saying, EGIdrA just took the win 1-0, and if he takes the win here again, it's the series over. Bye bye for DDE, no chance whatsoever. So DDE needs to take the win on this one and just pull it out of his hat and make a surprise to EGIdrA and take the win here. Would be pretty cool, so we can continue following the series. I guess we're gonna see if that happens or not, but on that first match, EGIdrA went for a lot of aggression, a lot of harass with the big Mutalisk Wing, and he kept poking and grinding down the forces from DDE, and got to the point where he had such map control that DDE couldn't even leave his 2-base play to expand for a 3rd base without EGIdrA noticing or having forces there ready to just apply the pressure on him. So we ended up at the final moments of the match. You could see the mineral lines from DDE completely exhausted, and well, he couldn't replenish his army properly, and EGIdrA was just playing out of 4 bases and just bringing more and more waves of Zerglings and Banelings and Mutalisks and replenishing his forces so fast that DDE couldn't resist it, and he had like a final clash against the wall that DDE established on his natural expo, destroying an engineering bay and just rushing in with a huge wave of Zerglings, and well, DDE just had to GG out of the match. Another thing that was a tipping factor, tipping the scale on favor of EGIdrA on that matchup, was obviously all the Mutalisk harass that he did, and the fact that in the final seconds of that match he was able to intercept 2 loaded Medivacs with Marines that just killed those 2 Medivacs instantly, and well, just thwarted the forces from DDE really quickly. So yeah, it wasn't easy, it was complicated there, and well, DDE just lost it. Now following this match, as you can see, EGIdrA going for the gas steal, so making sure that DDE won't be able to plan ahead and prepare any kind of gas heavy build to start with his opening. So I guess he's just gonna have to transition into something else if DDE was planning to go for some gas heavy build, or he's gonna have to try to use it later on in the game. For now, the first Zerglings are coming out. EGIdrA already playing out of 2 bases. The hatchery on the natural expo is already established, while DDE is still having troubles with this extractor and probably needs to get rid of it to keep going with this build. Notice that for now DDE already has the racks into a factory and built a reactor. I'm not sure if he's gonna attach the factory there and might maybe start building up some Hellions. Apparently that's what he's getting now. The first group of Zerglings arriving, spotting the Hellions, and now have to run away. The Hellions are really effective against Zerglings and the drones as well. So if DDE plans of going ahead and get a lot of Hellions and make a mass Hellion harass, things might be getting complicated for EGIdrA. Keep in mind that this natural expo here, it's quite hard to defend as these large openings, and usually spells trouble for the Zerg player to defend. Incoming the Hellion into this mineral line, already roasted one of those drones, and finally roaches popping out of those cocoons and defending the offense from DDE. Nice move there. There's the roach warden on the back of EGIdRA's base. On the previous match, EGIdrA didn't even build any roaches, didn't even have a roach warden, so he's just making a different approach based on the map obviously, and reacting to what he can see from his opponent, since the roaches are very effective against those Hellions. So the Hellion harass has been finished for now. The roaches will be able to keep tabs on the Hellion movements and probably won't allow them to make a lot of damage. Here they come once again, roasting one more drone, and now they're gonna get shot, I would say. Only one left and almost destroyed, while EGIdrA just advancing with a small wave into the base from DDE. Keep in mind that DDE meanwhile already established his natural expo, and now 3 roaches trying to flank on the right side, trying to reach that mineral line and start killing some SCVs. There's one, nice shot there, and now 4 roaches roaming around the base, keeping DDE on his toes. DDE established a lot of defenses here, and he's kinda like stretching a big wall around his natural expo, making sure that his opponent will be forced to go all the way around if he even wants to attempt arriving on the main base or reaching any of the structures or units that he might be placing here. Notice as well that EGIdrA once again gaining map control, both of the Xel'Naga watchtowers controlled, also this Overlord keeping tabs on any building getting built here on this corner, or any kind of movement with Medivacs preparing some drops. Everything is being controlled by EGIdrA. He has his Overlords and Xel'Naga watchtowers controlled, and everything is secured, so nice move here. EGIdrA just keeping one step ahead of his opponent, making sure he's gonna have what it takes, and at least be allowed to have a bit of a reaction time if his opponent tries to go for some heavy aggression. For now, everything calm. Apparently they're just stabilizing their game and getting into a bit of macro play. This factory keeps pumping more and more Hellions out. Notice that still no Infernal Pre-Igniter getting researched. He's just pumping more and more Hellions out and getting research, Stimpack and Concussive Shells while mustering up his Hellion count. 4 Hellions once again advancing. I think they're gonna meet up with those roaches. There they are. Lots of roaches containing the movement and keeping tabs by controlling that Xel'Naga watchtower. And now a small push with Marauders, single Marine there in the middle of it. And I'm not sure if it's gonna based on the timing of that Stimpack, but apparently they're heading their way when the Stimpack is almost finished, with the Hellions leading the charge. Here they come. How many? 6 Hellions, quite a Hellion force, advancing into that base, incoming, fighting against the roaches and Zerglings, trying to shoot as many of them as possible, but there's plenty here from EGIdrA. Also some Banelings already roaming around. Nice line established by EGIdrA, trying to shoot as many of those forces as possible, but there's plenty of Marines and Hellions. The Hellions are just finishing off those Zerglings as fast as possible, while the Marauders just finishing off the roaches, destroying them so quickly. And now EGIdrA will have to reinforce his army, replenish it as fast as possible, because there's still plenty of forces here harassing and poking around on the natural expo from EGIdrA. More roaches popping off the cocoons, trying to shoot down these Hellions, and these Hellions are no match for the roaches. More roaches incoming, so this doesn't sound good here for DDE. DDE forced to pull back. That last Marauder get destroyed, and now what's left of the Roach force was just able to shoo away and put away the forces from DDE. DDE will have to transition into some other unit composition, I would say, because with this amount of Roaches I don't think he will be successful. Meanwhile, taking a look at EGIdRA's bases, for now here there's not much. Already the lair going on. There's the Baneling's nest on this corner as well, and for now we have Roachling and Baneling established by EGIdRA, but already having the lair means that he's preparing something else. He's probably going to try to transition into the second layer of tech, and at the same time grabbing the rich mineral field, while DDE apparently is planning another flank with his Hellions. He still has plenty of Hellions, though some of them are really weak, and all of these Hellions entering the mineral line here on the Natural Expo, roasting a lot of drones. Ooh, huge damage done to that mineral line, and once again pulling away. So guerrilla tactics by DDE, trying to make as much damage as possible on each pass that he does with his Hellions. Now getting here on the corner, Evo Chamber getting produced, they're getting built, so the upgrades are going to start streaming for EGIdRA. Nothing else on his main base for now, still everything going fine, and incoming a big roach push. Let's see how the economy is at the moment. DD leading the charge on the economy, more workers, also more economy. Obviously the mules also are a factor that tips the scale in favor of DDE, and these two Hellions keep roaming around trying to be aggressive, and they're apparently gonna have a cross here with Banelings trying to clash into those Hellions. Not the best idea, but there's only Hellions and Marauders here, so they're just clashing against the units that they see in front of them. The Roach is trying to finish off the aggression, and DDE is slowly microing his Marauders and Hellion back into his main base, trying to attract the forces from EGIdRA into this bunker position here and destroy them. Meanwhile, he's just building more and more supply depots on the front, trying to make a fairly big and sturdy wall in front of his natural expo, making sure that when his opponent EGIdrA advances, he's going to have a lot of trouble to get a proper surround or a nice line, a nice concave, and more harassing coming with the Hellions. 6 Hellions once again trying to get surrounded by Zerglings. Oh, they're getting cornered with the Queens and Zerglings. They're probably not going to last longer. Oh, massive roast there. And now they actually reach the mineral line, forcing EGIdrA to pull all of his roaches back into the main base to finish them off. And finally the aggression is over, but a lot of harvesters lost there. And EGIdrA is losing on the macro game, big time for now. He needs to recover. Keep in mind that EGIdrA has this rich mineral field, so soon enough, when he has enough drones here, he will be able to boost his economy sky high. And let's take a look meanwhile on the base from DDE. A lot of factories, so he is committing himself to mech play for now and transitioning for all of those Marauders and Hellions into Thors. From what I can see, at least I saw one Thor there, and apparently he's going to build more. He has more there on the run. The Hellion play has been a constant on DDE's game since the early stages, which is a really good harass obviously, but it requires a lot of microing, so I'm not sure how his macro is going. Let's take a look at the expo once more. There's the barracks. He's getting now a command center established on this corner. I would assume it's gonna fly it up to the rich mineral field. On the back of the base, there's the armory that allows getting some Thors out. And meanwhile, on EGIdRA's bases, what does he have here? There's the Spire, so we're gonna see Mutalisks popping out soon enough. A massive Mutalisk wing, I would say, once more, with EGIdRA being aggressive and gonna harass as much as possible. And incoming DDE trying to take the rocks out. He's gonna establish his third base while the Hellions attempt once more, but oh, there's a lot of roaches there and they're gonna get killed so quickly. Still one of them survived, trying to escape, but surrounded by Zerglings and killed off. This offensive with the Hellions from DDE didn't pay off, and now there's a lot of Mutalisks starting to fly around. For now, it's still a fairly small wing. Let's take a look at the armies. Still fairly balanced, 137, 140 against 130 now. Ooh, there's the Thor waiting for those Mutalisks to shoot them down, and now that DDE spotted the Mutalisks, he's getting lots of missile turrets, so all of his air defense is getting up, and I'm not sure how EGIdRA is going to be able to handle this. There's Thors, there's missile turrets. This is not very good for those Mutalisks. He's still flying around trying to make a fairly big Mutalisk wing. Let's take a look at the unit composition. 17 Mutalisks, there's a Thor waiting for them, 18 Roaches, 6 Banelings, and 21 Zerglings. And meanwhile, on DDE side, as you guys can see, he has 17 Marauders, very Marauder heavy. Had a lot of Hellions, but they die so quickly I can't even count them properly. 6 at the moment, and plenty of mech. He's building a fairly big mech force. Already 3 Thors, 8 siege tanks, so apparently he's gonna go mech against this Zerg army. Let's see the end result coming out of here. Mutalisks flying around, trying to harass as much as possible, but the wing is not that big, so they're still not able to dish out that big critical damage that just destroys everything that moves. This Marauder just passing here, keeping tabs on what's going on close to the Zalaga watchtower, and incoming that Mutalisk force. EGIdRA just keeps microing it back and forth, probably trying to contain DDE once again like he did on the previous match and apply the pressure as much as possible. But for now he still haven't reached the bases from DDE, so there's not much pressure going on. DDE just fine. Incoming a massive force of Marauders to counter that big roach play, but once again advancing with those Mutalisks right on top of those on the Thors, doing the magic box, killing as much as possible of that Thor force. Look at how fast they go down, and now there's still the missile turrets to put down. This Mutalisk wing is getting chipped away really quickly, now finally reaching the target, the planetary fortress, but there's still a missile turret there, blasting away at them, and EGIdRA getting forced to pull away. He needs to come back another day and keep insisting on destroying that rich mineral field that is giving a nice boost on the economy from DDE. Notice that currently EGIdRA is leading the way on the econ game. The harvester count is finally balanced, 61 against 59, and because DDE has been exhausting his mineral fields, he's just a bit under on the economy, and he needs to keep up his game. There's a big massive force advancing here. Meanwhile, DDE advancing with a lot of Thors and mechs, siege tanks and marauders, huge force. Once again that magic box on top of the Thors killing them off, while the big marauder force advances here into the rich mineral field from EGIdrA. Will he be able to snipe this base? I guess we're gonna have to follow those Mutalisks on the picture-in-picture while we follow the massive bulk of the forces from DDE advancing and trying to snipe the rich mineral field. Are they gonna do it? Yes, they will. Pop goes the weasel, down with the hatchery, and what's left of the DDE's forces still roaming around. There's plenty of Hellions once more. This Hellion play by DDE has been very annoying, very frustrating for EGIdrA. He had to deal with it since the early stages of the game, and now finally a big Mutalisk wing showing up and finishing off what's left of that Hellion force. With EGIdrA now advancing south, will he be going straight into that main base of DDE? Apparently he will, flanking all the way on the north side, preparing himself to come down, and here he comes. How much will he be able to destroy? There's plenty of missile turrets here, this is not good. And now focusing his fire on that supply depot, first Thor coming out. I think this amount of Mutalisks would be able to put that Thor down, but he just decided differently. Incoming once again another Hellion, trying to harass and make a bit of scouting. Oh, this single Marine, poor guy, is gonna get chewed away so quickly. And meanwhile, EGIdrA is already playing out of 4 or 5 bases. This one got established, meanwhile still doesn't have any workers. Econ-wise, EGIdrA is just completely ahead. Whoa, he's just skyrocketing on his income, though he has I'm sorry, the other way around. It's DDE that is skyrocketing on his income. Though he has a little bit less workers, he's just pumping out as much as possible of that rich mineral field, while EGIdrA still has a really nice income, but at the moment the econ game is getting dominated by DDE, and obviously this will be translated into more and more units into his army, and the faster way of replenishing his army with the very expensive units. So how is it things at the moment? Let's take a look. 2 more Thors getting done by DDE. DDE is committing himself to a lot of Thors and a lot of mech, and those Thors have been chewed down by those Mutalisks fairly fast. Incoming another one. This Mutalisk wing has been big enough to just give some resistance to the Thor force, but now DDE is going completely bonkers on the Thor play. How many does he have? 7 Thors. Whoa, that is a lot of Thors. Well, against airplay, DDE will be fine, especially against Mutalisk harass, unless EGIdrA just decides to go bonkers on Mutalisks and get like 100 Mutalisks. He will be able to face against massive Mutalisk wings with such amount of Thors, but the problem is, what if EGIdrA transitions? Because from what I can see on the production tab, he's already finishing the hive tech, and this means that he might be preparing him to get some of those units from the last layer of tech on the Zerg play. And well, I'm picturing Ultralisks all over the place. What you guys think? And well, those Thors won't be able to do much against them. They will be able to resist, yes, but they're not like the best option against Ultralisks, I would say. There it is already, hive tech, infestation pit on the corner, but still no infestors whatsoever. Only got used to get the hive tech up, and now the roaches trying to poke at one of these Thors, finishing it off, while the Mutalisk wing keeps flying around trying to poke as much as possible. The big Thor force just putting all of those roaches away, and once again Hellion harassing to the mineral line. This time with Infernal Pre-Igniter, the blue flame is already available and roasting a lot of workers from this base from EGIdrA. Finally the Mutalisk showing up, backed up by the Queen and the Zerglings. I think they're going to be able to finish off this assault. Yes, they will. And now the wing once again heading south, trying to flank. Apparently EGIdrA might be planning an assault there on the right side. He's just massing up all of his forces. No, changing to the left side, and there's so many Mutalisks already, 27 of them. And keep in mind that I think that EGIdrA is preparing a Broodlord assault. There's already the Great Aspire getting ready here, plenty of Corruptors coming out, and the Mutalisk wing once again advancing into the main base of DDE, destroying as much as possible, focusing his fire on the factories and finishing off the production, the mech production from EGIdrA, and at the same time another push with siege tanks, Hellions, and where are that Thor mass? There it is, huge Thor army advancing, led by these Hellions and Marauders, once again shooting down that hatchery on the rich mineral field and trying to push away EGIdrA, make him return to his original bases, make him retreat and try to gain some map control and obviously control over the bases that EGIdrA had in his grasp. Hellions leading the charge, trying to roast away that spine crawler, but that will take ages, and the bulk of the forces is here. Look at this army. Let's take a look at the armies once again. DDE is almost maxed out with a huge mech army, and IdrA is heading that way, but still not exactly there. The Hellions are still harassing and roasting all of the drones on this line. Now finally the Mutalisks showing up to fend them off and finish off the harass here, but the production on this base has basically stopped, and now all of the forces from DDE moving from the left side to the right side, and I think he's gonna try a flank attack on this side, probably attempting to finish off this base, and with IdrA just LOL, yeah, he's just saying, oh my god, this is a huge mech force. And incoming massive clash with a lot of Mutalisks on top of those forts, trying to finish them off. Broodlords helping out on the ground forces and chipping away, grinding down the forces from DDE. There's not much left of that army. The roaches are just spewing acid on everything that moves, and look at how fast the forces from DDE went down. That maxed out army just kind of grinded down to the point of 82 supply. Oh, Broodlords and Mutalisks backed up by roaches, tipping the scale in favor of IdrA and just giving him the victory on that battle and the final GG from Sixjax. Sixjax just got surprised there. The Broodlords and those Mutalisks and the roaches were able to finish off his mech force, and well, he had a pretty huge mech force, but impressive play here by IdrA, just finishing it off and just forcing DDE to go for the yeah, so, well, pretty epic game, kind of an intense game and long one. Actually, IdrA was playing with on a very strong macro game, as you guys seen, but this time DDE was able to actually play with him, play and compete with him on the econ game, and he was doing fairly well. He was playing out of 4 bases now. IdrA was ahead, as you guys can see, 5 base play. He had Great Aspire and the Ultralisk Cavern was here, though we didn't saw any Ultralisks roaming around, so he probably was planning a transition if his air units got destroyed, but basically the Broodlords and the Mutalisks, backed up by that ground force of roaches, finished off DDE's army, and well, he saw that it was useless. He didn't have enough to defend, he couldn't replenish his army fast enough, and by losing this rich mineral field, the game would be basically over for him. Look at how fast he drained this field. It's almost exhausted, and these two were exhausted as well, so I guess that he didn't have much of an income anymore. Well, it's done. I hope you guys enjoyed this match. See you all later, have fun.